can't complain with the weather because we've had unseasonably amazing weather, both all of the fall and now while we're into winter. Super grateful for amazing weather, except for today. It's very slippery today. Molto scivoloso.
Scivoloso, meglio.
O posso vado in sera.
Okay.
Dopo lavoro. So in my opinion, the entire system of using slates for a roof is just genius, not just because of how long it lasts. I mentioned, I think in our previous video, that's actually the most affordable roofing system that I'm aware of that you can put on over the lifetime of the roof because of how long it lasts, but because of how air flows through the tiles. Most roofs fail for a lack of airflow, but with slate tiles, you have all of the area beneath the slate passes air through it, and then air can pass up through all of these holes as well. And you would think that would mean that rain can get in, but no. See, rain can get in through here, and there's actually a nail hole right there, and you would think that maybe water would get in through that nail hole, but no, because the next tile comes to here and completely blocks that nail hole, and then between this gap is a full tile as well. This tile right here comes up above to right about there. So it's completely impossible for rain to come in unless, of course, a tile breaks. But then the system makes it so that you can swap out a tile relatively easy, which we've done on our pre-existing roof, as well as added in a skylight after the fact. So the whole system is very adaptable. But basically it stops rain from coming in, but allows air to circulate and air to escape through all of the little cracks between the tiles. Alright, hold on, let's look at this. Bradey's work, Carlo's work. Spingere, Carlo!
Vieni qua te, è tutto difficile qua.
Spingere, non tirare, spingere. I almost forgot to mention, so yesterday was Sunday, it was a beautiful day out, and our little goat friends came over and spent basically the entire day just hanging out here. So we would eventually like to get some kind of animals here, probably not goats. Goats are a little bit too mischievous for me, and they climb all over the dry stack stone walls and tend to climb on roofs and, you know, get into gardens and things like that. And I'm thinking sheep. I really would like to get a small flock of sheep just to look after the land, to clean up the grass, to eat all of the brambles and whatnot, although the goats are better at that. But of course we will have to have someone local look after them for us and put up some fencing and all of that, which is, you know, just takes time and whatnot. But I love having these goats here every once in a while. This time of year they come, they hang out here because we have more grass than they do at higher elevations. I love hearing the sounds of the bells and just watching them roam around, but I don't know if I'd want to have them permanently here because they're just a little bit too mischievous. You can see how these terraces are perfectly set up for animals being able to move from one terrace to the next with these gorgeous stone steps. Look at that.
Hello.
Hello. We have just been flying through today, going at an unbelievable pace, despite the rain, despite it being slippery. I asked them how is it that we're going so fast, and they pointed out that this section of the roof is a lot less than the other section. They seem to be pretty much equal, but if you measure it out, it's a good bit less. Marco has just gone off for the last load of stones. Just gotta carry them up and place them in.
Piove!
The forecast did call for the sun to come out today and dry everything out, so we're still crossing our fingers, trying to stay positive, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And it's quite cold. Man, the weather today is wild. We're so thick in a cloud you can hardly see. I was gonna say to the end of the property, you absolutely cannot see to the end of the property. You can hardly see 20 meters in front of you. We'll often get these downdrafts of air pressure, so much so that as the smoke comes out of the chimney, it immediately just takes a nosedive straight down and kind of billows down the property, down the steepness of the slope, as there's so much of a down pressure pushing cold air downward, which obviously is what leads to all of these clouds accumulating down low, but makes for kind of an eerie environment to be working in. I'm also really looking forward to getting through all of these big projects and to start cleaning the place up, get all the scaffolding off of the side of the house, get all of the material out of here, and start, making the place look a little bit more beautiful. Really quick, just want to take a brief minute to remind you about the importance of protecting your personal data while online, and to tell you about today's video sponsor, Delete Me. Delete Me is a hands-free data removal service that removes your personal information from hundreds of data brokers and people's search sites, reducing the risk that your personal information ends up in the wrong hands. Unfortunately, data brokers can legally collect all kinds of information about you, things like your personal cell phone number, your personal home address, your email address, and other personal information, and they package all of this up and sell it off to whoever might want that, whether that's to advertisers or potentially to scammers. Scams and phishing attempts in particular are becoming more advanced and very difficult to discern what's real from fake. And if you ask me, the best possible way to protect yourself is simply by having your information removed so that they can't contact you to begin with. Within 7 days of joining Delete Me, you'll get a privacy report that shows where all of your information is left public, and then Delete Me will go to work having your information removed. Delete Me has been in business for over 15 years now. We've personally been trusting them for over 2 years with our information, and they were recently named by Wirecutter as the #1 data removal service. So if you're also ready to join Delete Me, you can get 20% off by going to joindeleteme.com/Voyagers, or by scanning the QR code on screen now, or simply by entering the coupon code Voyagers at checkout. But with that, thank you so much to Delete Me for sponsoring today's video. Hey, sup? Basta.
Lanzi. A Marco.
Hai sicuro un lancio?
Sì, lancia. Wow. Aiuto!
Non spacchi, sì. Ok?
Più lento.
Freddo.
39. Hai visto?
being careful.
Yeah, do you like your roof?
I love it. I'm sorry that it's so rainy and gross out today, but wow, that looks amazing. It's so beautiful.
Molto grazie. We're just about finished. You just missed us tossing all of the stones up.
Oh,
that was
no.
kind of fun. We had a little, you know, assembly line of tossing stones up into the air.
So when I picture this going up, it was like you would go from one side all the way to the other, but the way you guys are putting it up seems a bit like odd. Why is that? Like, why isn't it just a straight across kind of a thing?
I also thought the same thing. I thought we would start from one end and work all the way over to the other end. But then I learned that if you do that, you have to cut the majority of the stones at the end to make sure they're all straight. Then you have one side that's all cut and doesn't look very nice. So we're interspersing. So we finish on one side, finish on the other. And then we cut a tile in the center. And then that cut tile just kind of hides itself a little bit better in the center. We're also interspersing those cuts here and there just to make sure you don't really see any cut and all looks completely natural. Grazie.
Oh, it's really kind of heavy. I mean, I'm afraid I'm going to drop it.
Lancia, toss them,
Okay.
throw them.
No. You don't want me to toss. I'm
No.
very, very clumsy. What's the word for clumsy in Italian?
I have no idea.
Si dice lanciare.
Launch, toss them, throw them.
Passa.
Passa, okay.
No, lanciare così. Left, no.
Eh.
Jump. Aspetta, lancia.
Oh no!
Wow!
Oh my god!
Spingere.
I don't
Oh,
like
no.
this because if we break
This
a
is-
tile,
I
on the
know.
roof, then we have to start all over again.
Whoa!
Rip them off and
Oh my goodness.
Crazy Bradey.
Crazy Brady. Crazy Carlo.
Carlo, stop.
Oh boy.
that was a bad throw.
This
Sorry,
makes me
Carlo.
so nervous.
No. No, really bad. Ancora.
Okay. Oh boy.
Oi.
All we need is the dope in your mouth.
Yeah, right? Oh!
Good catch. Bravo.
Oh!
Bravo!
I tried to catch one
Come on,
hand.
Bradey.
Oh no!
Okay.
Ma hai mozzato un dito. Non lanci? Manicomio. Davvero ho chiamato il prete? Oh. Aspetta, al contrario. Quella cosa fa qua, Bradey?
Quasi.
Bradey,
Hey.
questi li taglio per la legna.
Man, it's really fun to take down all of the scaffolding and be able to look at this roof without it all being, covered up in all of the construction nastiness. But now that it's all down, being able to walk through it, have the whole space opened up, being able to see it properly, well, at least a little bit, considering all of this haze and the clouds that we're in currently. But we're taking the scaffolding straight over to the stone sauna because the next big project after we get this roof finished up is, well, putting that roof on there as well. So we're just pushing through, spingere, as Carlos says. Spingere sempre, always pushing through, moving from one roof to the next. So we got way ahead of ourselves building out this sauna. We should have waited a couple of years. That was the original plan, but as Alessio and I were planning out all of the projects that we had in the future, we kind of thought that this needed to be elevated up in urgency because we thought that once we built that roof, we wouldn't be able to get machinery back here. So we just kind of prioritized this as a result of that. Well, turns out we can. We just can't get the super large excavators back here, but the smaller ones we can. And well, now, since we're halfway through it, we're going to switch straight to it, especially since I have the guys' time. At this stage, that's really the most important thing. So while we have their time, we're going to move straight on, I believe, starting next week to building out this roof, which involves finishing up the stonework and a few other things like that. But once we get this all covered up, we'll pause this and put it on the back burner as it was meant to be originally, and we'll focus on a few other things on the inside of the house.
Ma cosa state facendo là? Ho detto tutto good.
Tutto good. Certo.
Tanto non lo sapranno mai loro. Come fai a saperlo? Aspetta amore. Ci sta?
All right, so we were missing just a couple of pieces of wood and some screws. Now we can get back to the big roof and finish that. We've tracked up so much mud and it's stopped raining, so the roof is not getting cleaned and it's a little bit sketchy. Ma attente perché non c'è punteggio ancora.
Ah, niente, Bradey. Basta? Ok.
Così non va bene, sì?
No, molla. Passa?
Hai pagato per quello?
Porta dietro Zanella.
So just like with the first row, the very last row gets another row of these half tiles. And these ones need to be screwed in. So you have to drill through the pre-existing tile, this one here, drill through that and then screw it in. For all the rest of the tiles, the nails are sufficient because there's weight hanging on top of it from the other tiles. But the very last row needs the extra security of a proper screw.
Ma poi lei...
Come sempre.
Fa niente, la troveremo.
Wow, aiuto!
Tieni.
Molto grazie. Si deve girare o no?
No, lì è rovinato.
Ok.
Ok, giù.
Dove vai?
Vado a casa.
Stai bene?
Sì.
Ok.
Dove vai, Bradey? Dove vai?
This is just stupid.
Tu mi vuoi ammazzare?
Well, good morning to a very early start. Obviously, with the roof getting a little bit slippery yesterday, we decided to call it a day. There's just like literally 10 minutes of work left to do it. to finish it up, so it's basically done. But I need to prep this beam. This will be the door lintel that goes over the new stone building. And while our chainsaw doesn't resemble a chainsaw anymore, we've hit so many stones with it, so many nails, so many screws with it as we've been cutting the roofing material. Probably should just buy a new blade at this point. Been working on this thing for a while. And this chestnut is not easy to cut through. My goodness, this is really bad. The last time we used the chainsaw, it was smoking as I was trying to cut just from the friction. There's just nothing left of the blade.